Brian Kerr, you said that, look, the stuff that happens in this Nations League, really in the bigger picture, and for Gareth Southgate and the pressure he was under, it's kind of irrelevant was the word that you used. Do you still express that view now, given that things seem to have gone quite toxically bad tonight?
Well, what it proves is that he doesn't have the depth of the squad that many people felt he had. A lot of people would have said, oh, England have the loads of great players and they can challenge for the World Cup. I think the series of games proves that they don't have the depth in the squad. That's no goals except one penalty in 4 games. That's fairly stark by the standards of England or any international team. So you couldn't say it's irrelevant. It was probably the wrong word I used. I didn't think it would go as badly as it did for them tonight. It's a short-term disaster for them. I think they can repair things before the World Cup. They've only got 2 games in the build-up to it, but they need a lot of players to be playing a lot better. Yeah. They probably only had 5 or 6 playing tonight who would start in the first match in the World Cup. Players need to be in better condition. And
they've a bit of time to turn it around. A bit of a similar story from Hungary, though. Some of the stats we looked at before the game, happy not to have too much possession, but really, really effective on the counter-attack. Lethal, in fact, in that second half, Damien.
Yeah, incredibly good. We spoke about how efficient they were, and they were really, really good tonight. England tried and toiled as much as they could, wherever really applying enough pressure to look like getting back in it, and they look frail now. That's what when you look at this England over this window, they really do. I know Brian said there about.
Do you think this is really wounding for England?
Oh, I think it's hugely damaging. 6 months out from a World Cup, Brian said there that the strength and depth. But the starters weren't really getting it done either. There was fellas played in the earlier games, and England were pretty poor in the original Hungary game as well. So I think there's something gone amiss in that England setup, the way they've gone about it, where nobody seems to be playing well. Nobody seems to be able to put their hand up. Their system, for whatever reason, seems to have fallen apart, where they were rock solid, nick a goal, win games 1-0. Worst case scenario, they draw 1-1. But now at the moment, there's no confidence. Harry Kane looks a pale figure of the England captain that he has shown over the years, and of course this season at Spurs as well. I think there's some major issues at England because now, as we said at the top of the show, that once the press start digging, and they're really going to dig after this, things are going to get very, very complicated for them in the next few months. Yeah,
the mighty Magyars, 1953, Hungary beat England 6-3 at Wembley and shook football back then. England actually lose a game at home. Well, this one mightn't have the seismic impact of that game, but it certainly will cause Gareth Southgate a few sticky headlines in the days and weeks to follow.